So, Bill, where are we right now? What's the weather like?
Well, it's a little cloudy. It's about 80 degrees, but we're in beautiful San Miguel Allende in Mexico, taking a 2-week short vacation.
So, I want to ask you some questions about your business. So, what do you do exactly? Logistics? What's that?
Well, it's the efficient, cost-effective, safe transportation of goods to and from anywhere around the world for a number of clients, large and small. Logistics meaning that all of the detail that goes into getting it from A to B, we take care of, not the client.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you been in logistics?
Well, my own company for the last 18 years, but in transportation, period, most of my adult life.
So what happened 18 years ago?
I was working for some large multinational companies, which I won't mention their names, and their attitude towards the client was less than desirable, and that sort of bothered me because they were paying for a service, and some people would just throw up their hands and say, "Hey, you know what, we can't do it today." And that really used to grate on me, and I found out that, no, I can do this better on my own. And on my 50th birthday, I set up my own company and never looked back.
Well, that kind of dates you.
Well,
It's funny.
Let's put it this way. When I went to school, they never had history.
Well, I was just looking at your shirt, and it's kind of ironic that you moved thing. What? This is the early.
This is the earliest I've ever been late. I mean, yeah, you know what? It's in this business you have to have a sense of humor because there's a lot of stresses and other things attached to all the work that we do, and sometimes we need a sense of humor just to keep going.
Okay. So, how did you provide a better service than the companies that you were working for before?
Well, if you look at it, if I can use an analogy of a vacuum cleaner, if you've got a giant industrial vacuum cleaner, it just sucks in all kinds of dirt and it's all in there. But if you take a very small little dust devil, and so the amount of volume that we used to take was far less than our international competitors, so we could actually monitor everything we did very closely, 24/7, and provide that personal touch. Not, yeah, it's in there somewhere, and yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it. That attitude just doesn't cut it with us.
So, what kind of? Well, since you brought that up, I remember you saying you actually moved some people, which isn't really in the logistics. Like you moved executives or something.
Well, yeah, there was a financier from one of our clients in Arizona. He was Swiss. He was a financier, and he came to Arizona, and he wanted his car shipped over to France, a Lincoln Navigator. And he also came on a spending spree and spent $350,000 US with 27 furniture stores and art galleries in Scottsdale.
Oh.
Then they phoned me up and said, "Bill, I want you to ship it to my chalet in France," which was up in the mountains. So we did. We had to collect every art piece, we had to crate it, we had to look after it logistically, we had to present it to customs. We shipped it over there, and we got it within 25 feet of his chateau. And the reason we can only get 25 feet is because it's on the side of a mountain. And we got a crane to lift in his handcrafted pool table, and we did all those kind of things. And very personalized service.
Wow, that's pretty irregular.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe someone's going to want something like that. But the regular logistics, like I see a picture of a big airplane or something. What was that about?
Well, there was a mining client in Arizona that was doing a major expansion project. And they were reinstalling 2 new, mining people will recognize the term ball mills.
Yeah.
They're about 18 feet tall, 22 feet wide, and each ball mill weighs about 65 tons. And they wanted us to bring 2 of these ball mills from Brussels in France over to Arizona. And they wanted it done quickly. So that picture on the website is the Antonov, the Russian Antonov SS-225. It is the largest air freighter in the world. 8 engines, tremendous lift capacity. And we did our due diligence and we accepted the contract. When we got through our planning stages, we realized that the equipment they wanted was 17 inches too large for the aircraft body. So we came that close, 17 inches close, of chartering that world-famous aircraft. So they asked us just to bring it by conventional means, which we did.
So that took a couple months instead, but,
Yes, it took a little over 2 months, and it was about 1,000 tons in total, 950 tons of equipment.
well, what about your record in your 18 years, we'll say, because that's been your business?
We pride ourselves on our record. We don't brag about it. We don't advertise it. We don't post it on our website because we don't like to pat our own back too much. But if I could just read a couple of statistics here from a mining client, we do all of their inbound and outbound trucking, air freight, rail freight, and they hired an efficiency consultancy, a group of experts to go through their mining operations and say, where can we save money, where can we be more efficient? And of course, transportation came under that realm. So we did a report for the client, and rail shipments, air freight shipments, ocean shipments, totaling in the neighborhood of 1,100 shipments in 1 year. This was the result of our report. How many accidents out of 1,100 truck shipments? None. How many insurance claims or losses? None. How many border delays that delayed the shipment? None. How many Department of Transport violations were drivers found guilty of? None. Any U.S. Customs issues where we had been recalled for tariff? None. Shipment delays? 3. Out of almost 1,100 shipments. And those shipment delays were not our fault. It was the Arizona permit process that caused a few delays, which were not costly to the client. So we're averaging about a 99.9% efficiency and safety record, which we're very proud of.
Well, I really appreciate that, because I know that if something is your fault, you take care of it on a personal level.
Absolutely.
And that, yeah, I'm not carries right over. Well,
Can I say something else?
yeah, please.
Just on that, you know, we take care of things personally, and we do. And we have another policy, and we call it the NOBS policy. No BS. And in other words, if a client asks us a question on the whereabouts of their shipment or any progress reports, if there are any errors that we have made, we're very forthcoming in telling them. So you know what? We're delayed a day because of this, but here's what we're doing to fix the problem. So the news sometimes the customer gets is not always the best news, but it's truthful news.
Yeah, that's important.
And we find that our years of experience is the customer can deal with the truth, but he can't deal with BS.
Yeah.
So that goes back to your point. If we've made an error in judgment, or if there's been a cancellation of an aircraft or a ship, we'll take it personally, and we'll walk the extra mile to keep it on budget and to keep it on schedule.
Well, I know this is already quite a long interview, but there was something else I was reading about where a company received a shipment. They didn't even know that they had received it, and they were going to be in trouble if they didn't get out of the dockyard. Something like that.
There's been several like that. We've had shipments the customer just phones us up and said, we just got notification that we've got something sitting at the docks and we don't know anything about it. So they handle the problem over to us, and we backtrack everything. We go back through the customs issues. We go back through the Homeland Security issues. We get it unearthed, undocked, and we actually physically get it moving. And it's because the client has sent it and didn't even tell the customer that it's coming. So we've had a few emergency shipments like that. Things catch on fire. We need a truck right now to get this repaired, and 911 services, we're famous for that too.
Did you already tell us about the horse or animals that?
That was an unusual call, because somebody said to us, do you just move regular freight? And I said, no, we get some unusual calls. We've had a call to move an antique dresser from a lady's home in Vancouver to ship to Quebec, and she didn't want to use a moving company. But one of the strangest ones was we got a phone call from a lady that says, nice southern accent, by the way. Yeah, excuse me, y'all. I got a lady that bought a horse from me, and she wants me to ship it to France. Y'all can do that? And I said, yes, ma'am, we can certainly fly your horse to France, no problem. How y'all gonna do it? does the horse sit in with the passengers? Like she didn't have a clue. And I said, no, it doesn't. And that was an unusual call.
But since that was an animal, like, did you know what you were gonna do? I mean, did you just fake it, or what happened?
No, we never fake it. That goes against the no BS policy. But I knew 70% of the procedures involved, and the other 30% I didn't. But we have specialty agents that work with us. So they filled in the rest of the blanks in terms of the protocols. The horse had to be quarantined for 30 days. Blood samples had to be taken and examined. Health certificates had to be issued. All of those things. But I even told the customer, I said, your horse is actually looked after better than some flying passengers.
Probably.
And I said, they even get to watch a movie? And she said, really? A movie? I said, Flickr or something like that. And she said,
now the truth.
And she says, you're kidding, right? And I said, yeah, I'm kidding on that one. I said, but by and large, they have an attendant groom, a veterinarian, they get a mild tranquilizer before the flight. And I said, you know what?
That's like drinks.
Yeah, just like Rosie. Exactly.
Oh, very nice. So is there anything you want to say before we end our interview?
I've been in transportation most of my life, and I do things the old-fashioned way. I look after customers like they're my personal friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're entrusted with a shipment, whether it's large or small, I give that the same degree of efficiency. It doesn't matter whether it's $1, $100, or $100,000. The money does not gauge any priority. They get the same personal attention as anyone else. And I'd invite anyone out there who's having logistics issues or just tired of phoning people to get a rate to move this from here to here, give our toll-free number a call. Let us do the work for you. And I think you'll be happy you did.
Well, I'm pretty sure they would be too. Thanks for doing the interview, Bill.
You bet.
Okay, bye.
Good night.